Once we are live for today, one more time, the last drum conversation for this season that we stay here for more than a year, and we started on in the start of the pandemic things, and now we are finished our drum conversations today with a very special guest. It's an honor to me to talk with this master of the masters. But first of all, I don't have to miss my opportunity to play my last time to you, and I will play Na Calada do Dia, one samba that I wrote in 2018. Thank you for your attention here and for being with us in this drum conversations. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. And for now, I want to introduce you, the master of the master. It's an honor to me to talking today with this great drummer and huge, huge friend, huge human being. I love him. Please clap your hands to Mr. Billy Hart. Hey, Billy. Hey, Billy.
That was brilliant, Adrian. Brilliant.
Oh man, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for that, and thank you for being here and for listening.
Oh man,
Oh, oh,
I was telling somebody today that I was going to be on your show,
oh,
and I was trying to describe you. I
oh,
said, not only do you have incredible facility on the instrument, but you also have incredible knowledge of
oh,
Brazilian music,
oh,
which is almost as important to me.
oh,
You
yeah,
know that you know so much about the history of it.
oh.
You know,
Thank you so much, Billy.
and it means a lot. I've been a fan of yours for 15 years,
Oh, Billy,
and
thank you.
to have an actual opportunity to speak with you. I mean, I don't know exactly what I want to say,
That,
but it really means a lot to me. Thank you
that,
so very, very much.
thank you so much. That's the same for me. It means a lot to me. Have you here, and I'm a big fan of your drumming, of your music for a long time. And I remember that first time that you had a student. I can't remember his name, and I remember that I was teaching him in San Francisco, in California, in a kind of Brazil camp, something like
Right.
that. Maybe 12 years ago, 14 years ago, and he said me, Billy sends a big warm to you, and I said. I can't believe that he knows who I am, and I was so happy with that. And I don't remember the name of the guy. I think it was Mike. I can remember that, but he was one of your students in the university, and after that he sent me the concert that they did, and he played some song that we recorded with Chico Pinheiro sometime.
Uh huh.
Uh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, Billy, thank you for being here and thank you for playing all that music that you played for all your life, man. You are such a huge inspiration for me and for all the drummers in the world. And Celso de Almeida, that is also a drummer from Brazil,
Uh huh.
send the good worms, the best one for you. Yeah, yeah. You remember him? He plays
I
with
do remember.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He sent his best for you.
Oh,
And
oh,
Billy, it is so casual. It's a drum conversation. We can talk about drums. We can talk about music. We can play if you want. We can do anything. But I think I have some questions that I made today. My son, that is a bass player, helped me to make the questions,
right.
and he sent his best to you too.
Okay.
And Billy, uh, first of all, where are you from in US, and where are you living for now?
Well, I'm born in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
and of course I've lived a few places, but at this point we're in my house in
Uh-huh.
Montclair, New Jersey.
Oh, that is a very nice neighborhood.
Oh,
I
right,
w-
you've been there.
yeah, I went there to Brian Fielding a house to
Right.
make a record that we did. We also record this song, and at the end of the recording, Brian told me that you live in the area, and I said, "Oh man, I have to talk with him," but was so short visit
Right.
for that. But it's a very nice neighborhood. I love it. That I love it. That
Well,
and
hopefully it can happen.
yeah, next time for
I
sure.
really have a lot of questions to ask you.
No, I have a lot of questions. And Lily, how about your starting with the drums? Why did you choose the drums to play music? How was your starting with the music?
Well, it wasn't great.
Uh,
My grandmother was a concert pianist in the European classical tradition.
yeah.
So, but she was the first accompanist of Afro American lady named Marian Anderson, who was a great opera Afro American opera singer.
Okay.
So I went to school. I wanted to sing,
Hmm.
so I had all the motions and everything, but I couldn't sing in tune.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to the drum corps,
Okay.
and that's how I started.
Oh, great. And how was the they starting with with the drums on these times? Because today the drummers can go to school to start to learning drum set with techniques and everything. And but when you start, how was the approach with the with the
Oh, okay,
schools?
well, no, I had a drum on a strap across my shoulder because you
Okay.
marched, you had to walk.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I played marching drums.
Oh, great,
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
great, great. And I saw that in your starting, we played with some artists that was not so jazz artists, like Otis Reading and a kind of soul artists too. Uh, and how is your relation with music that is not just jazz? We used to play at different styles. We still playing that. How was that thing?
Okay. Well, that's an interesting question for me in particular
Uh huh.
because because I believe I'll tell a short story.
Uh
Uh,
huh.
and now I'm old enough to give you my opinion. So
Please.
they asked John Coltrane one time. He said, Mr. Coltrane, tell us about classical music.
Uh huh.
And he said, please correct me if I'm wrong, but
Uh huh.
every culture on the planet has a classical music. To which culture are you referring? Which culture are you talking about?
Yeah.
So what I took from that was what I made up for myself. If every culture has a classical music, every culture has a dance music,
Great.
right? And
Great.
so that the basis of all music of all cultures is dance music
Oh.
first, and
Yes.
it evolves to classical music, whether it's improvisational music or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
So I came from a city where they had a lot of dance bands,
Yeah.
right?
Great. Great.
And
Great.
and and I was just sort of taught that so-called jazz music was originally dance music first,
Yes.
and evolved into this. So when they ask me, a lot of people ask me, they say, well, what kind of music do you play? And I'll say, well, I play American music.
Great.
I just it's I don't really separate it like that, because I grew up hearing dance music. My parents dance to music. I mean, it seems to be part of my culture, yeah,
Yeah.
or the American culture or whatever.
Yeah.
And so yes, I did play with some, I guess you could say, dance bands. I wasn't the best at it, but I played in them.
Great.
So I got a chance to play with a lot of people. Well, I had played with a few people: Smokey
Uh-huh.
Robinson and the Miracles, the
Uh-huh.
Isley Brothers,
Mm-hmm.
Joe Tex, Sam and Dave. Patti LaBelle,
Hmm.
Otis Redding.
Hmm.
So I got not much, just you know
Is it?
Jackie
Is it?
Wilson, Aretha Franklin. You know,
I love it. I love it that point that you put that it's dance music. It's popular and dance music, and
yeah,
we can use the same here. I can use the same here in Brazil. I will just say I play Brazilian music or dance music because I started to playing for dance too in
yeah,
a bands to play some parties and something like that.
right.
And it's something that uh, uh, s- um, at the same point we are playing some very improvisated with a lot of different approach and different tones and different parts, but always I'm thinking something to dance to put the beat on.
Right,
uh,
right,
when it happens, the music happens for me, and I think for the drummers all the time. I
right.
I love to play the part, the most air parts of the music with the cymbals and following some melody, something like that. But when the tempo starts and we can dance anything, but with improvisation, with very difficult skills or very simple skills, but it has to dance. It has to be
Oh,
swing.
for sure, for sure.
And I think for all the drummers, it's a good experience. Play to dance.
Oh,
Play in a band that plays and people dancing at the same time.
of course, and with vocalists too.
Yeah, for the musicians.
Yeah, for to I mean for drummers too though. Play with vocalists that you
Yeah,
you can hear the melody in the rhythm, or
yeah,
or the rhythm in the melody or whatever.
yeah, yeah. And there's a different approach to put yourself in the music that is good to make the mixing when you're playing different
Right,
things.
exactly.
It's good to know. It's good to think as a jazz drummer when you play with a singer sometimes, and sometimes it's good to know as a drummer that is playing with a singer or popular music when you are jazz drummer too and playing the band. You can mix some things.
Yeah, well, I think of it as the word jazz was the first American dance term.
Great,
They just kept the name. But
great.
if you said jazz in 1920, you were
Hmm.
talking about dance music.
Yeah, yeah. And when you talk about that Coltrane speech that all of country has his
Yeah,
dance music, his classical music, and I remember, I don't know if you know, in Venezuela, is like here in South America, there is a very popular dance in five. It's
right,
something like pak
of
chaka
course.
to chaka chaka to pak chaka to chaka pak to pak ping 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 ping, and people dance that. It's
Yeah,
so complicated. It's so strange to understand the time signature, the subdivision, and people dance. That's amazing.
yeah, man. And so what happens too is that in America, in other words, if you grow up in France, if you grow up in Germany, all the people are German. If you grow
Hmm.
up in Italy, all the people are Italian. But if you grow up in America, it's all of those cultures
Yeah,
in one
yeah,
place. So what we have is contributions to the music from
yeah,
all of these different cultures,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Great, great, and a lot of different music were created with that,
Yeah,
with this
right,
mixing.
exactly. And so really what's happening today, in my opinion, is the world itself is just getting smaller.
Yeah,
In other words,
yeah.
I mean, if I could, I would play like you.
Me too. I will play like you if I could. I will do the same. Uh, oh man. Hey, Billy, um, and you played with all the master of jazz. with Wes Montgomery, McCoy Tyner, Zavinu, and Shirley Horn, and how was the experience to be part of this of the not the transition but the well, how is the feeling to be part of this movement to grow up with this music because you are part of that.
Uh, give me a second. Just to try to get,
Okay.
um, well, first of all, I was just very, very, very lucky because in Washington D.C., uh, I had a chance to meet and play with Shirley Horn
Wow.
when I was a teenager.
Wow, you were a teenager.
Yeah, you know, I met her at a jam session because she
Mhm.
was such a great pianist,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, I met her that way. But on the other hand, at that same period of time, there was a guy in Washington, a guitar player that had his own nightclub, and his name was Charlie Bird.
Wow.
And you know, he's the guy supposedly that discovered in America, discovered the bossa nova,
Great.
right? So I actually got a chance to play with Joao Gilberto in
Wow. Did you?
Washington D.C.
Oh man, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. That is amazing.
So that means I got a chance to play what I can think is the partito alto from what Joao taught me.
Wow.
So
Oh.
that's a binary way of playing,
Mhm.
as well as the whatever you want to call it, jazz, the tertiary,
Yeah.
if you want to separate it that way. But I was so young, I never really wanted to separate it. You know.
Yeah. And I agree with you. We don't need to separate that.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I
It
I
broke
I,
up.
ag- I agree with you. We don't need to separate that.
Well, the computer is
Yeah,
breaking up.
something with the internet.
Okay, I heard it now. I hear you
Okay,
now.
okay. I'm sorry for that. And I just said that I agree with you. We don't need to separate that. It's music.
Yeah,
It's different rhythm. It's different names, but it's
yeah,
music. I
right,
can feel different from you, and you feel different, and all of them you be music.
right.
Oh, what year was that you played with João Gilberto? You remember that?
It was around that time when they first started coming to the United States. I mean, they would come to New York,
Yeah,
but they
maybe.
but they would come back
Uh huh.
and play at Charlie Bird's club.
Wow.
So it had to be. Let me think. It had to be around. I can't remember. It had to be in the 60s.
Yeah, maybe in the sixties.
Yeah.
You were 20.
Huh?
You were 20 on this time. Maybe that
Yeah, something like that.
teenager. That's great.
Yeah.
And how about Shirley Horn?
Well,
I love that ballads that she plays, and it's so slow. It's so hard to. It's it's beautiful, but there's demands a lot of concentration with the time. Not for me, it's not so just concentration, but um, you have to you have it's a kind of confidence. You have to
oh yeah. But
yeah.
but you can hear it and you
Uh-huh.
can feel it,
Yeah.
right? And one of the things I is my opinion
Uh-huh.
is that she could hear. Well, this is getting a little deep, but she could hear the triplet or the 12/8. I'll demonstrate it.
Oh, please.
Um, I think she could play so slow
Uh-huh.
because she was feeling or thinking this.
Yeah.
and even slower. So,
Yeah.
but it comes across like this because you can feel it. You can feel it. You can feel it with the harmony. You know.
Ooh. Wow, man.
So that's just my opinion. You know, from playing with her.
Oh man, I love it. I love it that that way that you put the brushes on the snare like that.
Yeah, you're right. That's the way I feel it.
Yeah, but you are always,
But even slower. You know.
man. That's beautiful. That's
And
amazing.
so you get a groove even at a
Hmm.
very slow tempo. It's still
Yeah,
it's still swinging. I mean, it still
great.
has that
Hmm.
emotion of well, emotion. You know,
Yeah, yeah, and confidence and trusting with the tempo with that. Are you listening?
right,
But that is so that's so beautiful. I
right.
love it. That I love it. Thank you for this advice to make the subdivision to play the ballads. I will practice that.
Yeah, I think she really, in that regard, I think she really loved Ray Charles also
Mm-hmm.
for that. So there you have Shirley Horn, who sings like Carmen McRae or Ella Fitzgerald or Sarah Vaughan or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
she also was singing like Ray Charles
Great.
at the same
Great.
time,
Great.
in my opinion.
Yeah, great. Great. Thank you. Thank you for that. Hey, Billy, we have some comments here, and
Whoops.
Brian Fielding says, Edu and Billy, Montclair, New Jersey is the house. I'm waiting the time to be back at Montclair to visit
Yeah.
both you guys. Yeah. I'm waiting.
Yes.
I'm waiting the time. And Matthew Clary Smith says, not much, just some of the biggest artists of the time. That was your sentence. Not much, just the biggest artists of all time. Are you all talking about Chile Ron, Montgomery, and this guy and these guys, and the soul guys too. And the same says, I love the point about this. Matthew says, I love the point about dance music being the origin culture. I never talk about. I like that. Thank you for wisdom, and I love it. I love it that too, and it's deep that.
Wow.
And
Well.
and and Mike Meller says, we love you, Billy. I love you too, man. I agree. And Marcelo Bucater, he's a Brazilian drummer from here, great drummer. He says, "Oh, what a great history of playing with João Gilberto! Amazing." Do you know something? João Gilberto don't used to play a lot with drummers. He used to play alone,
Uh-huh.
and we have of course, on the bossa nova time, he recorded a lot with Milton Banana, with different drummers. But at the end of his career, he used to play alone. And maybe in the 90s, he made a record with drums, and very smooth drums, very 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 tasty drums. So comfortable. We can
Right.
say that it's playing less or it's playing more. It's not that. For me, it's so comfortable to the music.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and I can remember the name of the German that made that late record, but it's amazing. It's
Well, I
amazing.
recorded with him too.
Yeah. Wow.
I recorded with him also with Stan Getz.
Wow, this album with Stan Getz,
Yeah.
man.
I recorded two albums with him with Stan Getz.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Oh, Billy. Um, and you'll be part of the Herbie Hancock group in the 70s.
Yes.
Uh, and how was this experience to play with him?
Well, for me, it was magnificent.
Uh-huh.
Uh, he just he I for me he played like well he feels the dance in the music, but he has a very high, very sophisticated harmonic knowledge also. In other
Mhm.
words, I think of him as more of a world player. I mean, I think some of the things that part of my opinion of how music is comes from performing with him.
Mhm.
You know, because he can, he can play binary and tertiary. You know, duple and triple
Uh-huh.
separately and at the same time too. Also, he can do
Mhm.
both at the same time. And I
Mhm.
know that sounds a little weird, but I think I really believe that he can do both. He does both. He's just amazing. He's just
Oh.
I, I wish I could describe it. I just hope you get a chance to play with him sometime.
Oh, I would love to do that, but I never get the chance.
Well, it's not too late. It's not too late. I
Oh
think
man,
I think he would love playing with you.
man, it would be a dream. I would love to play sometime, and to feel that are you saying about the this
Yeah,
different balance
yeah.
triplet
And
and
of course his groove is impeccable. His swing feel
mhm.
is so dramatic. It's so moving. You know.
Oh, great,
Anyway,
great.
that's how it was for me. Anyway.
Oh, great. And and Ben Vigorous says, greeting from Nola. Thanks for the knowledge. Uh-huh.
Uh,
And Charlie Kayet says, let him talk, please. And you you want to talk a little bit more. And Ben Vigorous says, I'd love to hear Billy talking about playing with Jim Smith. Me too. Me too.
well, Jimmy, are you asking me?
Yeah,
Oh, Jimmy was
please.
the first band that I really traveled on the road with,
Hmm.
and Jimmy also. Everybody we asked about so far, as far as I'm concerned, are geniuses. You
Great.
know, and uh, Jimmy, he had extraordinary facility also. You know, he was he was like Art Tatum or Bud Powell. I mean, he
Hmm.
he just had extraordinary facility, and of course, he changed the sound of the organ. He made the sound of the organ more contemporary. But
Hmm.
he had a different kind of harmonic knowledge, more contemporary harmonic knowledge. And he
Hmm.
told me the first band he ever had was Charlie Persip played drums
Wow.
and John Coltrane played the saxophone,
Wow.
and that's the way he sounded. I played with him for 3.5 years,
Wow.
and so he had he had that same kind of feeling for rhythm. You
Yeah.
know, that same kind of thing when you sort of can play two and three at the same time.
Hmm.
Well, I can try to demonstrate a little
Oh,
bit.
Please, please.
You know, it's there's a city in this country, New Orleans,
Yes.
that uh, if you grow up in New Orleans, you grow up knowing that feeling
Hmm.
that Jimmy, I think, tried to do. It's basically clave, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like right. So you can play that like like
That's
that.
beautiful.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Things like that. So
Me-
Jimmy had that beat,
uh-huh.
and he had a drummer
Hmm.
that grew up with him named Donald Bailey.
Hmm.
And so instead of playing, you know, he did this.
Great. Great. With the hi-hat.
Yeah,
Wow.
and you know, the upbeats on in the triplets.
Hmm.
So so I had to play with Jimmy. So I had to learn Donald Bailey's way of playing. You know, just to play the performances.
Uh-huh.
So playing with Jimmy was again a great experience. A great,
Oh,
a great. I was just very lucky and very fortunate
man.
that him.
You played with everybody. You played it with everyone. If you took the jazz musicians, all of them, you played. You are very lucky for that. But that is impressive because everybody wants to play with you. That's amazing.
Well, I think everybody wants to play with you.
No, man, no, no. And we have more comments here, and Hippie City says, I don't play the drums, but I love all musicians, so I hear. Thank you for being here, Hip City. Thank you
Uh,
so much. And Pablo Held says, love you, Jabali.
oh,
I,
I love Pablo. Pablo's a great pianist, great
yeah?
player, German
Oh,
piano player.
oh, oh, great. Thank you for being here, Pablo. Nice to meet you. I know that your email is Jabali Drums.
Huh?
I
Yeah,
know that your email is Jabali Drums. And Ben Vigeri says just one hello and send a lot of hearts and says so funky when are you playing. He says so funky.
yeah.
And,
Well, that's just another word for that emotion,
mm-hmm,
for that drama, for that feeling.
mm-hmm,
It's a feeling that's not only physical, but
mm-hmm.
it's psychological too. Well, if you feel good, it's going to be psychological.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
so yeah. So
And
I mean, but funky is that's a word too. Swinging. I mean, there's a bunch of words.
mm, great, great.
But it all makes you want to dance. So
Yeah, yeah. And Ben Viget says, "Man, Donald Duck Bailey."
yes,
Yes.
yes.
And Brian Fielding is asking, "Where is Billy playing next live?"
Oh God. I just played in Baltimore over the weekend
Uh huh.
with a band called the Cookers.
Mm-hmm.
We've made 6 CDs.
Okay.
So and I think we're gonna play in South Carolina Saturday.
Saturday,
Yeah,
this Saturday,
Saturday.
5 June
Yeah,
5.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I wish I was in. I can be in South Carolina to check you playing,
Oh man.
but I am in São Paulo. It's a little so far from there. And Brian Fielding says my house. I think he's inviting you to play at his house.
Oh, I didn't hear everything you said.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Brian Fielding
Yeah.
says in my house. I think he's inviting you to play in his house in
Oh,
Montclair.
yeah,
In
I would love to. I love his house.
in this beautiful garden.
Yeah.
I saw that he's playing that. Great. Um, Andrea Schmidt says another magic moment with Billy Hart and his wisdoms. Oh,
Oh, whoops. Maybe not so wise, you know.
hey Billy, and I know that you teach a lot too. When do you start to teach, and why do you start to teach too? How do you manage that to touring a lot? Because I know that you are every time on the road touring a lot, but how do you manage that?
uh, I, I really don't know. I, I started teaching because um, my mother had to go in the hospital, so
Okay.
I had to stop traveling
Okay.
for a while, so that I could be in the hospital with my mother, and so
Yes.
that's how I started teaching. You know,
Yes.
uh, I never considered myself a teacher. Uh, I still don't really, but anyway, but that was almost that was
But
almost 30 years ago.
30 years ago,
Almost, yeah,
almost.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So when I first went into the classroom, uh, there were there were 11 drummers, but with their drum sets. So I
Yeah.
had 11 drummers with drum sets. The
Wow.
first time I walked in a classroom.
Well, 11 drum sets together,
Yes,
playing at the same time.
yes.
Oh my God. And how was that?
Well, I had to think of I had to think of something to say.
Hmm.
And so what I came up with, and there's a video of it, you can see it at another place where I taught in Michigan.
Hmm.
There's a video of me with this band. I called it a drum choir,
Hmm.
and so I just did a concert with them 2 or 3 years ago. You
Hmm.
know, which so we played the rhythms of some of the melodies of songs. In other words, there's some drummers, uh, that play rhythms of melodies, and you can hear the song just from the rhythm.
Yeah.
So that's what we ended up doing. And
Oh.
so I had so many drummers, 3 drummers play the melody, and 3 or 4 drummers play the background.
Yeah.
Another 3 or 4 play the bass line or something like that.
Wow.
And this school still does that. They still have the drum choir.
Oh, great.
And
Great.
so that's how I sort of started teaching based on that kind of situation.
Hmm.
Like carnival or something. Like you got the,
Yeah.
the drum and snare drum and this.
A lot of drums together.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Each one doing a different part.
yes, and so
Yeah.
so you can actually, at that point anyway, you actually get some drummers that can actually play a melody of a song, the rhythm of the melody of a song that
Yeah.
is recognizable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They recognize it. So, and that anyway, that's how I started.
Oh, that's great. And now, where are you teaching now?
Um, there's a school outside of Cleveland, Ohio, called
Hmm.
Oberlin,
Okay.
and that's Oberlin Conservatory. And then
Hmm.
there's another school that in Boston called New England Conservatory.
Yeah.
So though I teach at those schools.
And you travel a lot to do that.
Well, I didn't this last year because of the pandemic.
Yeah, but
But yeah,
in not.
yeah, I've been traveling and playing both, doing both.
Wow. Wow. That's.
I can't really call myself a teacher like you. Uh,
I'm.
but
I'm not teacher too. You are a teacher. I can call you a teacher. You are our teacher.
no, well, not like you. But I can talk about it. I can talk about music, my opinions about music.
Man, and you can share your experience with
Yeah, yeah.
build this music that everybody loves. So you are, I can say you are a teacher, and you have to pay a lot of attention on that, because this experience is not every teacher that has that, and that is so important then to teach, to share the music. That's something unique. Your experience is unique. And
I'll keep that in mind.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I just know so many really great drummers, and the hip, certain drummers really play the instrument so beautifully, so wonderfully, and it's such a beautiful touch and a beautiful feeling and everything. It's
Yeah.
just many, you know,
I'll, I'll,
so we can
I'll,
just
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
no, that's okay. I mean, I just talk about them sometimes. I just talk about them. I talk about you. All my students know about you.
The same here. All my students know about you too. It's the same. I think that your phone is ringing.
Yeah, but I don't want to talk. I should have put the phone away.
Maybe is that some recording for tomorrow, something like that.
Well, we'll see.
Okay, and Billy, there is a very interesting a question here. Alessandro Ruoco says, "Do you have any advice about doing drum solo? Thank you for your wisdom
So, do I have any advice about what?
about doing drum
Drum.
solo."
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's uh, well, I do have an opinion, but
Uh
that's
huh.
all it is. It's just my opinion.
That's a great opinion.
But,
We want to know that.
well, you got some. Obviously, I prefer melodic drum solos. I prefer personally. Not that I do it very well, but that's what I prefer. And so there are drummers like Max Roach that
Yeah.
spread the rudiments melodically
Hmm.
around the instrument.
Hmm.
And so I like that. But then there's the other drum solos where it's like uh, motifs, like
Hmm.
you you know, that those that kind of
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
uh like dance drumming, dance solos,
Dance solos,
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. you know
Wow.
you know
Oh. Oh
but
man.
but I like the others,
Oh. Oh. We love it when you play. I don't to ask you and force you to play more, but every time that you put your hand in the drums is beautiful, man. Thank you for that.
I still want to play like you. You know, in other words, like I love the maraca too, and
Ooh, and but I like this that you said dance solos. We
yeah,
have to solo, put the rudiments, put the melodic, but you can dance with these melodies and this rhythm too.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
And uh, El Morreon says, "Thanks for all the great music, Mr. Hart." El Morreon. And
uh,
Hobby Yuda Faza says, "Both of you, what musicians, music that also influence your despite they genre. Have a good day." Yeah. And I think he's asking what musician music that also influenced your despite the genre. Um,
Say that again.
both of you, what musician music that also influenced you despite their genre?
Oh, uh, well, I don't know exactly what you mean. Are you talking about different cultures, or are you talking about male and female?
Yeah, I'm not sure too. That's
Well, I can
little.
I can talk about both.
Yeah, please, please.
I mean, there are now some really great young lady drummers. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Terry Lynn Carrington
Mm-hmm.
is a brilliant drummer.
Yeah,
Brilliant,
yeah,
right? You know, uh, Cindy Blackman,
yeah.
Savannah Harris. I can't even name them all. There's this. I mean, I know them, but I can't think of their names right now.
And
So there's ladies, and then of course there's been drummers of my generation all over the planet. You
mm-hmm.
know, Belgium drummers. There's a drummer in Belgium named Stefan Gallone.
Stefan.
It plays with a band called Akamoon, and I think he's
Wow.
a magnificent drummer. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, you had great British drummers like oh my God, what's this guy's name? Oh no, I can't think of it. You
No
need to
problem. No problem. No
you need to
problem.
guy. What's his name? He's been playing
Mm.
with John McLaughlin.
I can't. I'm sorry. I
Okay,
can help you. I'm
yeah,
sorry. We can check it later, and you can write some space.
yeah. But anyway, yeah. But I mean, they're great drummers all over the planet,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I love them all. I'm influenced by them. I'm
Yeah.
influenced by you. Well, a
Oh.
little.
Oh man, but that's great. I think we are influenced about anything, any music. If you
Right.
are if you are curious and if you like music, you are influenced by music as you are influenced by the person. When we talk just a little bit, 1 hour or half an hour, but we got influence of each other. If anyone, any people here in the streets and every time, if you have the open mind to listen, that there is a influence. And he says, Hobby says, was general just music type, but was beautiful that you said about the ladies about a third line. And
Yeah.
I think it's growing up. I see much more drummers, woman drummers are here. Actually, we had third line here on the drum conversations. She was amazing,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, and you have Alison Miller too.
Oh
And
yes, Allison. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And in Brazil, there is a lot of female instrumentists, bass players, and drummers and piano players in the new generations, and that is amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Igor Platt says that this drummer that you're talking should be Gary Husband.
No, well, Gary plays piano in the same band. It's
Ah,
Mark Mondesir. Mark
m-
Mondesir. He
oh,
and Gary Husband both play in the same band.
Okay.
Gary's a great drummer, but he's a great piano player too.
Yeah. Great musician. Hey,
Yeah,
Bi-
but
eh,
I mean, really great.
yeah, yeah. Hey, Billy, we are going to our end. We are going to our finish. Oh man, and I have to say that was so much fun to talk with you. Was an honor talk with you here, and was so much fun when I called you the first time and you answered me. I loved that. I will have to say thank you to Brian Fielding that put us in contact. Okay, was amazing, and I hope we can be in person very soon. I hope
Me
I can
too,
see
man.
you.
Me too. Because I didn't get a chance to ask you one quick question. How do you play the facility of your right hand on the hi hat like that? I mean, I know that there other Brazilian drummers are pretty good with that, but I've never heard anybody like you.
Oh man,
Is there somebody? Is there a way that you can study that or practice that?
of course, of course. I can answer you now, and that is part of our dance music. You
Uh-huh.
know that I will change my camera to show you. That is part of our dance music because all of Brazilian rhythms had this kind of or pandeiro or a kind of triangle doing the 16 note like that. And even in the maraca too, you have the 16 note all the time that you can play here. And for playing the samba, to imitating the pandeiro, we use a kind of molar like that, using
Yeah.
or we use a kind of fingers and a little hiss. I use the hiss for the accent,
Uh-huh.
and I use the same movement with the finger. But I practice separated just first, just the wrists, but I don't like the sound. The sound is and after that I practice it with the fingers. It's a little bit smooth, and I can use on this side like a German or like a French, like that. Other drummers, Celso plays with this grip and use much more the wrist like that. But
Uh-huh.
we just do that to try to play the to play the rhythm, and that we have to play that to imitate the pandero all the time. And I think playing sometimes 2 or 3 hours without stop, we develop some endurance for that. But
Uh-huh.
man, is wrists and fingers. You have to catch the balance for the stick.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes I do a kind of 4 strokes, three,
Uh-huh.
two, and I use that to make the patterns, the claves.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, well, okay, that helps. Helps a lot.
Oh,
As
I
soon as
hope.
we hang up, I'm gonna start.
Oh man, and Billy, if you want to say goodbye for people that are watching us, please say goodbye for everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for, for your for Edu, and thank you for your Brazilian music.
Oh,
Thank you for Brazil.
oh, thank you for Jazz, thank you for America, thank you for being here. And I want to say today is the last drum conversation for this season, and uh, went up with the bang. Is that? Is that? I'm correct? I don't know the sentence, but they
Yeah,
teach
yeah,
me
yeah,
before.
yeah. Went
Is
out with
that?
them. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Man, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. And thank you, Open Studio, for this drum conversation season. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Peter Martin, Dan Martin, Adam Madness. And please, thank you for everybody that stay with us all these Wednesdays that we are just talking about drums and the music here. Hey, Billy,
Bye, man.
please, brother,
Yeah.
warm hug for you. Yeah. Take care. Take
Okay.
care.
See you soon.
Yes. See you soon.
Okay.
Bye bye, everybody.